Though Bohemian Rhapsody can make waifus real, and I mean, you can't really beat that power of a stand, so hands down, strongest stand in JoJo, no questions about it. There's only one, it's number one contender. There's no number one contender, nothing else can make waifus real. Fuck. Like, comment, subscribe.
真実に到達することは決してない。
So I did this video a while back. It was one of my first It Just Works, and the whole point of the video was to point out the logical failure that is the stand Bohemian Rhapsody, and how it appears to be overpowered but is actually very useless. Though, I never got too specific in how it works, and because of that, Bohemian Rhapsody feels incomplete. I feel like I should have actually explained it. So I think it's now time for an actual proper It Just Works on Bohemian Rhapsody. Bohemian Rhapsody is the stand of Angelo. I think that's how it's pronounced. I don't actually know. He is the first son of Dio introduced in part 6. I wonder why I did the sons in this specific order. Angelo is one of my least favorite of Dio's kids. His personality comes off as the most generic minion/henchman type character, and all of the other Dio's kids, they feel more truly characters versus henchmen than he did. And this could be because he inherited all of Dio's sadism and his hatred of the world. He has this empty revenge he has set out on the world for causing these issues in his life, for making him a drug addict. Like, when he was introduced, he grabs Poochie and threatens him with a pair of scissors, and he's a fucking junkie. Most of his character is just generic bad guy. Angelo's character is very lacking in the fact that we only really know facts about his life and that he was a drug addict. Like, hell, the only time we get to see him emote is when he shows character for the first time and then is defeated 7 pages later. Angelo's personality, if you can call it that, is a wild, angry person lost in the world, which could be what Araki was going for. He still seems to fail when it comes to being entertaining, but his personality could reflect on the song which his stand is a reference to, Bohemian Rhapsody. Though Bohemian Rhapsody is a song that shifts between slow-paced beats to wild rock beats, the shift could be Angelo's depression moving into excitement and then back into depression, though the song itself fits the arc better than it does the character. By looking at the lyrics of Bohemian Rhapsody, we may start noticing a lot of things that correlate with the arc itself. You have, is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Which could be easily seen as a confusing mix of the fantasy world and the real world that happens throughout the entire arc, which the fantasy characters spill into the real world, challenging the question whether or not it is now real or fantasy. Then you have Caught in a Landslide, No Escape from Reality, which refers to the powers being inescapable if you recognize the character you like or meet, and that you suddenly become part of their reality. Like, it's no longer a fantasy. It's in an inescapable reality now. Open your eyes, look up to the sky, and see. Now, this is more in reference to everyone's eyes being open to the terrors of fictional characters coming to life, while in that, Angelo escapes to the skies via an airplane to escape any form of danger that he would be under if Bohemian Rhapsody were to turn on him in a negative way. I'm just a poor boy, I need no sympathy. This is more in line with Angelo and his past and how he's the least sympathetic of any of the characters in part 6, honestly. Maybe he's more sympathetic than some of the murderers in the prison, but he's also the least sympathetic of any of Dio's kids. Because it's easy come, easy go, little high, little low. Any way the wind blow doesn't really matter to me. And this final part of the song may reference Angelo's devil-may-care attitude when it comes to the rest of the world and the state that he's going to leave the world in with his stand. He doesn't care if the world falls into chaos. He would give less of a shit if it did, because he always felt like the world had dealt him a bad hand. And there are many more of Bohemian Rhapsody's lyrics that could fit well into this analysis of this arc, such as the verse 4, which Angelo finally steps up and starts acting he's motivated, like he's strong, or in the outro verse in which he slowly returns to the similar sounding beginning of the song, which in regards to Angelo's losing all of that motivation after he cranks up that energy, after he just straight up loses and returns to his ultimately depressed state. So yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody more plays into the arc itself than it does the stand or the stand user. Though, speaking of the stand, Bohemian Rhapsody is a stand that has no physical form, with the ability to bring any fictional character to life.
What the hell are these crazy Googas?
Its power is fueled by the creativity and passion of the creators of those such characters, and that in fact makes its range infinity. Or at least the entirety of the planet. Though the stand stats of Bohemian Rhapsody barely matter, not like stand stats ever have mattered, but the stand stats of themselves is either an infinity in range or an A in durability. Everything else is undefined. Bohemian Rhapsody's ability is kind of confusing at first, but basically works like this. It will bring a character to life. If that character comes to life and is near you or comes in contact with someone who holds an emotional connection to it, be it their favorite character or a character they really enjoy, the person's soul will be separated from their body and they will slowly be sucked into the story. And they will meet the same fate as the character they become, be it if the character dies, then they are fated to die. Now, if the fictional character who is brought to life dies, they become erased from any story that they were a part of. They no longer are able to return to their story world. Honestly, literally killed Pinocchio. Which, honestly, for me, that'd be pretty dope. I don't, unless I encountered video game characters I enjoy, because then I would probably be very dead. But you also have another part of this stand's ability in which if Bohemian Rhapsody's characters that are brought to life encounter someone who has no idea who they are completely unaffected by the character. As you see when Weather eats the poison apple from Snow White, he's completely unaffected because to him it's just a regular apple. It only affects you if you know what the character's story is. Also, when it comes to self-portraits, if there's a legend or a story behind the self-portrait, that is who the character becomes. Because with Van Gogh, you notice that he's completely missing one ear and he shot himself in the head, which is completely different than how Van Gogh actually went out and the amount of ear he cuts off in the real world. So if your legend is greater than who you were with an actual person, then that's what your character becomes if your self-portrait comes to life. Though, funny enough, speaking of Van Gogh, we see Bohemian Rhapsody's greatest flaw through Van Gogh. Bohemian Rhapsody cannot limit or distinguish between allies or enemies. When Weather creates Putback, a superhero whose sole ability is to put back all the other heroes and all the other fictional characters, this is where Weather wins instantly via playground rules, and Ungolo gets so depressed that he just gives up on life, just like everyone else and Araki during this arc. But you know what's something that won't make you give up on life? Shimonetta, a boring world where the concept of dirty jokes doesn't exist. You can get it now at funimation.com/show/Shimonetta, a boring world where the concept of dirty jokes doesn't exist. Or you go on to Amazon.com right now and you type in Shimonetta, a boring world where the concept of dirty jokes doesn't exist, and you can, if you have Amazon Prime, you can get it for 2 days free shipping, and isn't that fantastic? You can have 2 days of waiting for one of the best animes ever made.